Aaron, my boy, you know why
What's
we're
good?
here, dude.
What's good, bro?
The
What's good?
famous Impact and Chill, kicking ass every week, as always, man. Look, I wanted to ask you a question, dude. This has been bugging me all week long, and I got to know from you, man, how you deal with this. And let's just talk. Those that are listening today, drop some comments on us today because I got to know from everybody how you guys handle this. But brother, how do you handle it when your mind, body, and spirit are out of alignment? How does that work, dude? I'm having so many things go on this week where my head is saying one thing and my heart is saying another thing. I'm scatterbrained. So how do you reel that back in, man?
Yeah, I- it's an interesting one. It's a tough one. It's an exciting one. I mean, there's a whole heap of emotions that go through for me. The exciting part is that if mind, body, soul for me, mind, body, spirit is not in alignment, means that I'm not following my true path. So there's an opportunity for me to course correct. So I love it from that perspective. But unfortunately, you never really know until all of a sudden you start feeling shit or something goes wrong or yeah, all that crap. The one thing that I tell all my customers, all my clients, kind of like a bit of a catchphrase I use is as soon as you have alignment through mind, body, soul, spirit, call it what you like. Once you have that alignment of all three, that's when you're in control. That's when all of a sudden there's flow. That's when all of a sudden there's like, this feels fucking right. You feel so sure of yourself. You're crystal clear on what the objective is, and you're not afraid to go all in on things that scare you, the unknown. Let's call it the unknown. So, and the only way for me to be in complete alignment is knowing that I'm working on all four pillars of my life all at the same time. What am I doing for myself on a spiritual connection? Am I connecting back to me? What am I doing for my body? Am I pushing my body hard enough for change and make it strong, keep it lean? Am I fueling myself right? Because when you fuel yourself right, not only you're looking after your gut, but also you're looking after the emotional reaction that you can get from food. Am I also emotionally depositing into my relationships, my friends? And am I doing all the fucking things I need to be doing every single day in my business? And if any one of those are out, there's no alignment. There's something that will go wrong. There will either be a little bit of you know, what do we say? The little bitch voice. That's what we say. Yeah, the little bitch voice will come in. Yeah, the ego will come in saying, told you so. Or the ego will come in and say that, you're not enough. Or you will get a comment on social media saying, what the fuck is that shit? Though it's
Yep.
something will force you to question yourself, force you to bring in those little, the belief stories that you're trying to undo, that but those belief patterns that something will come up that will you will start questioning what you're doing. And again, this goes back to imposter syndrome, goes back to are we searching for internal or external validation, like so many things. So I love it
Yeah.
that there's a lesson there, bro. There's a lesson because if you're not in alignment, mate, you'll fucking know. You'll know. um, but one thing I will say, and I'd love to hear your story on this as well. But one thing I'll say is that, and I say this with my clients, my clients, when I'm training them one on one in the gym, embrace pain. If you cannot embrace the
Mhm.
pain, there is no change. So embrace the unknown. As soon as you start to
Mhm.
embrace the unknown, then all of a sudden it's like, okay, here we go.
It's really interesting too, Aaron, because I think about this, and right now my head is thinking for our podcast business, right? That's the first thing that comes to me, right? Is business. When you know wholeheartedly either that you're on the right path, but like you say, imposter syndrome happens, or the little bitch voice, or whatever it is that happens, and it messes with you, and
Mm.
it messes with you. And one of the things that you and I talk about this a lot is we say the data, the data, go check the data. What's the data saying? right? The numbers are the numbers, dude. And you being a coach, right? A fitness coach at that, and you're my boy. You tell me this all the time. Just go look at the data.
Mm,
You can't just base it off of nothing, right? So if I'm looking, I'm jumping straight into this, right? And thinking if I'm scatterbrained, the only thing that I can do, the only thing I can rely on is the data. And not saying that the data is the only factor, but it starts.
mm,
It's a starting point to go, okay, all right. In your case, right? Coaching people in the gym. Aaron, I want to lose this many pounds, or I want to bench press this weight. All right, well, let's take a look at your starting point first.
yep.
Right. So when I'm out of sorts, bro, and again, this is how I was this week, out of sorts, just what am I doing? All right, let me reel this back in. Let me take a step back for a minute. What is the data showing? Okay, all right, fair. We got that place down. Now what? Okay, let's take a look at it from the perspective of showing up. You always talk about what does it mean to show up,
Mm,
right? You just talked about the four pillars.
mm,
Are you lying to yourself or are you doing everything you need to be doing? Okay, cool. Check that box off. So far, two things that you've looked at, you're like, okay, that looks good. That looks good. All right, coach, what do we got to do now? What do we got to pivot? What do I got to do? All right, this is where you need somebody, I believe, to be in your corner or have like a brother like I do with Aaron to go, hey, bro, I just need to check in here, man. What do I need to do? Talk to me. Here's what I've done so far, right? And I've always been taught, Aaron, to if I have a problem, I want to bring solutions to the table as well.
yep.
I don't want to just throw my hands up because when I throw my hands up, dude, my brain shuts off. So a lot of people probably can relate to that. But what's your take on it, man? I mean, that's just kind of an early example of what I have to do to reel myself in from feeling like I'm just overwhelmed and I don't know what the hell I'm doing. What else do you think, or what else do you do in order to make that happen?
Let me ask you a question first. Why do you do what you do, John?
All right, Aaron. Look, here's the deal, man. I lost my son on October 30th of 2022 in a car accident. If you guys know anything about this podcast, you guys have heard this story, but I'm going to say it with conviction. Okay. I do this because I was in a very, very, very dark spot when I lost my boy, rightfully so. Right. Heartbroken, pushing away my boys who were always checking on me to make sure I was good. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know what to do. And when I finally came out of the darkness and I had a safe space in my brothers that said, "Hey, we're here for you." They couldn't take my pain away. They couldn't solve it for me. But what I decided to do was I said that because I didn't have anybody to go to outside of my brothers to make it a safe space to be able to talk, to be able to it's almost like this, Aaron. Let me put it this way. What does life look like now? Right? And for me, forever, I was always talking to my boy about being a good human being. That was my passion. Why does it have to stop? So I created a coaching program to be able to help people who don't know where to go, who don't know what to do, and really just create that bond with somebody to be able to go, you know what? I get it. And bro, it doesn't have to be grief related either. It just has to be something that you want. And then let me help you get there. That's why I do what I do, Aaron. That's why. If you look at my logo, it actually says, let me pull over the side here. It says inspired by Jay. It will always be about him. That's why I do what I do, is to honor him and help others. Because here's the deal, Aaron. At the end of the day, man, we all have a story. We're
Mm.
all in a lot of pain. We're all in a lot of frustration. Well, my job as a coach is to help you level set that mind. So let me do that.
So, in order for you to share that story and to help more people, what more do you need to do than what you're currently doing at the moment?
I think I need to share it to bigger audiences. I need to I need to be comfortable with getting uncomfortable in the spaces that I'm in right now, right? And so in that, man, I'm taking on a lot more in the sense of getting around people that I maybe would normally not get around. Because the truth is, Aaron, is this onto I've had grief share groups and I've built an amazing family with them. But now it's time to branch off of that. You know what I'm saying? I'll always have them. They'll always be there for me. But who else needs it? I guess that's what I'm saying right now, Aaron. If you're asking me that question, it's who else, right? Year one for me of doing this journey was one of those journeys that I had to say, all right, I just need something. I don't know what I need yet. But now that it's getting crystal clear for me, this is what I talk about with alignment, dude, is I'm saying this now with such clear vision that now it's going around and really just being comfortable with telling my story.
Mm.
People need to hear it no matter what. You hearing the story, brother, as a dad, it's a heartbreaking thing for you to hear. You're my brother too, so of course it's going to hurt you. But the truth is, man, is that the only way for me to get you, you got to know my why. And I think that's what's important, man, is when I'm out of alignment, I love that you asked me that question because all that does is it just brings me level.
And that's where the alignment sign comes in because the question I asked you was, yeah, what are you doing? What more do you need to do than what you're currently doing? Why you need to speak to more people? Great. Then now the action part is obviously what more needs to be done. Now, once you're in alignment through your mind and your heart are in alignment, the only factor that needs to be just as important is the action part. And that's one thing a lot of people fuck up on. Like their head's in a good space, their heart might be in a good place, but then they lack action. They lack that get it fucking done. You know, they have all the intention in the world to this is where I want to be. This is the body I want. This is the business I want to have. This is the amount of money I want to have, the bank account, whatever it is, the relationship, whatever it is. And then they truly mean it because they're the alignment between the thought of what they want and their heart. And it's like they own that. And it's like, yep, I really want to live that life. I really want that. I really do want this to happen. But they fail to put the action in place because there's a number of things in there. There's an element of pain, and we hate pain, whether it be physical pain, emotional pain. As humans, we fucking hate it. But also that we don't like to put the action in place, especially if it's something new. You know, if it's something we've never done before, it's the uncomfortable. Again, it's that, imposter syndrome. It's that external validation. It's that when you're now putting yourself out there, you're going to have people criticize you. You're going to have people come at you and, have an opinion on anything you put out there. You need to be okay with that. You need to be okay because here's the thing, like you might have an audience of 15 or 20 people at the moment, but if you need to get out this to more people, then you're going to have an audience of thousands. There's going to be someone in there that doesn't like what your message is. But we need to understand that that's not our audience. Our audience are the people that are listening and gravitating towards our story, are gravitating towards what we have to offer. And when you start to focus on that, the silencing of the lambs, we no longer listen to those haters, those people that have an opinion, the victim culture, the people that are always going to complain about fucking something. It's like, cool, you stay where you are, you stay stuck, you stay in the average lifestyle, and we're not listening to you. So the thing I want to ask you now is, now you know why you're doing what you're doing and what more needs to be done. Well, you need to speak more people. So, okay, what are you doing currently that has given you the exposure that you've got now? What do you think in your own mind? And now we're putting on a bit of a business hat. What do you think in your own mind do you need to do that's going to help you get in front of more people, and so you can share your story to more people?
Well, currently, Aaron, I have connected
that
with.
was that was serious, bro. Currently,
You
Aaron.
like that?
Come
Like
on,
how I did
bro.
that?
It was too
No,
serious.
this is
It's like a coaching call.
man, I got zoned in there a second there. Oh my gosh, I thought for a second that I was on like a TV show or something, bro. It's crazy.
Well, we
No,
are.
but but this is what I'll say, bro. I have taken on some new coaches, and they're coaches that they're guys that I am looking at going, they are, I mean, how do I say this? They're doing what I want to do. Does that make sense? Like
Yeah.
They're saying the things that I'm already saying, but they're saying it to more eyes.
Hang on.
So I get intrigued by that,
Are you
right?
saying a coach is taking on a coach? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Hang on.
Yes.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Did Tiger Woods have a coach? Does Tiger
Oh,
Woods have a
oh.
coach? Hmm. Does David Goggins have a coach?
Imagine that.
Fuck me.
Imagine that, brother. Yep,
Well.
exactly.
Everyone turning around
And
saying you don't
dude,
need a fucking coach. We all need a fucking coach because we
dude,
say it how many fucking times? You only know what you know. And if you keep doing the same fucking shit, you're gonna keep getting the same fucking shit. So stop. What is the definition of insanity? Keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result.
yes,
Sorry, bro. Continue.
yes.
I had to
Oh,
jump in there.
100%, dude. I love it. I don't even have much more to add to that. I'm just simply saying, man, is that I think the biggest thing about the ego goes, we don't need help.
Mm,
We're
mm.
doing fine. We're doing just fine. Dude, I'm not listening to that crap anymore. The way I look at it is the more times I can say I need help, the better. Because that tells me that I can take the good, the bad, and the ugly, meaning I want you to break open my stuff and tell me, hey, this looks great. This needs improvement. This is what you need to start doing. Dude, there's that age old thing, Aaron, with being coachable. You
Yeah,
got to be coachable, right?
yeah,
And I think we're kind of taking this off alignment a little bit, but I want to just say this, man, is if you're not coachable, you get offended easy, you get frustrated, you don't take the constructive criticism well, you're never going to be successful because guess what? That shit happens every day, man. People are going to criticize you a million times over about what you're not doing. You know, it's funny, Aaron. Let me throw this one out there since we've got this great podcast that we could do this on. There's this old saying that says, "A man builds 1,000 bridges and sucks one dick." To the world, he's not a sucker.
say that again. You broke out a little bit. So that was,
Oh,
yeah, to the world is not a bridge builder. He's a
he,
dick
he,
sucker.
he's yep, yeah, he's a
Oh, God.
cocksucker.
Fuck,
But
poor
dude, that's what
guy.
why I'm saying that is
It
our
takes
our
one mistake
mind
to
will
fuck
go
up your
to the
life.
one. Yeah, it's one person, dude. You could get a million good comments and one
Mm,
bad one,
mm.
and guess what happens? You're focused in on the one person that doesn't like you. And for me, bro, I guess the reason why I'm saying all this, man, is this is what's helped me get back to alignment. Going, you know what? I don't have it all figured out yet. I strive to be better every day. And in order to do that, I'm not trying at anything. I'm doing. I'm just going. So learning from the best, emulating their processes and developing plans to get better. It's the only way to get me back on track, Aaron, because there's times, man, I think we all go through this where you lean to the right or the left and you're like, I don't know if this is it. Man, I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. Why am I not this? Why am I not that? And you start to get results driven, and that's what screws you up. So, like to your point, Aaron, what you said a little bit earlier was that if somebody gives you a compliment, yeah, take the compliment, maybe celebrate it for a little bit, and then move on. Stay even keel. Don't go too high or too low on yourself because that's when you start to fall off the rails and feel like you want to quit. And that's why I think why most people do quit, bro.
Mm. And one thing I think with I know we're getting close to the end here, but one thing I want to kind of touch on is that when you're looking at alignment, you're looking at the mind, the body, soul, mind, body, spirit. When you look at the alignment side of it, so many of us will look at a coach or look at content or look at some information, some free information, and be fuck, okay, I'm going to go down this line because I haven't done it before. I'm going to give this a go. One thing that we have lost is the authenticity. The one thing we've lost is our true who you are, sharing our own your unique story. We're sharing someone else's story. We're trying to be someone else. And that's where the the heart and the mind comes in. That's where that needs to be in alignment. Because when that's in alignment, the intuition is go. The intuition is telling you, do this, go that. It's going to feel fucking uncomfortable because all you're doing is, and from a man's perspective, that's when our vulnerability comes in. I'm sharing all of me, who I am. Good,
Mm.
because that's what the world needs to fucking see. The world doesn't need to see another Tony Robbins because there's only one Tony Robbins. The world doesn't need
Right.
to see a fucking David Goggins because there's only one David Goggins, you know? There's a dude here called Adam Sully who has a PT business and it's all online now. It's called Evidence Based Training. He's got like 600,000 followers on Instagram. And you know what? This is a shout out to the dude because he's done really well from a social media perspective and he's branded himself really well. He's got online 8 week challenge, gives away 5 grand to the winners, the male and female winners every single time. But he's got a community called Cunnies. And here in Australia, you know what that is, eh? Yeah. See you next Tuesday. All right. If for those of you that don't know. So the community is Cunnies. His entire content, all the videos, anything he does, he goes, hey, Cunnies, that's literally where it comes from. He's that ocker, fucking funny, but he's got some information. He shares relevant information that is educational, but he makes fun of it. He's got 600,000 followers because of it. He just bought his mum a fucking home in the Gold Coast,
Mm.
fucking house. Now, the reason I say this, there's only one Adam Sully. No one can, you can replicate him all you fucking like, but guess what's going to happen? You're going to fail every single time. And I've said it on a podcast before. If you are trying to be like someone else, you're going to fail every single fucking time. As soon as you have an alignment between what your mind is, like that's your game plan, that's you. What is my next step? What are my actions? What do I have to do? As soon as you align that with your heart, your soul, that's alignment. When you're in alignment, you start to become authentic. And when you're authentic, that's when all of a sudden people will levitate with you because it's an energy thing. People respect you and they respond to you because they can feel that the heartfelt message that you're putting out there because it's real. And then you've got the body, which for me, the mind, body, soul, the body is the action part. And if there's no, you can think all the things you want, you can have all the fucking feels that you need to have. But if there's no action, you're in the same place. Stop wishing for
Mm.
anything more. Stop wishing. You're just going to stay stuck. Stop fucking telling yourself that you're not good enough because you haven't put fucking action in place. So stop telling yourself you're not good enough. So until you put the action in, until you get really fucking uncomfortable, both physically, emotionally, mentally, until you get really uncomfortable and keep fucking going and do not fucking quit. Do not fucking quit because you're going to have, like John said, you're going to have those people that will criticize you. You're going to have a fucking hater. But I guarantee you, all it takes is one person to go, thank you for sharing that message. I love your content. It just takes one person. And you're like,
Mm.
yes.
Dude, no, I don't really have a lot more to add to that, Aaron, because that's such, I was just thinking, how do we close this out with the alignment part, right? And it's so true, man, because I think to myself, all those things you just said, you go through those daily, man. It's not even a once a week thing that you think that way. Maybe some people do, I don't know. But for me, it's a daily battle. And
Mm,
not not everything. But what I'm saying, man, is when you get some information, right? And you start to process that, and then your head says go this route, but your heart says you got to go another route. Dude, it's so
yeah.
important to get back. It's so important to get back to basics,
Yeah.
right? And I don't think a lot of people realize it's just basics that you have to get back to in order to realign and get moving.
But here's the, I'm going to also add this in as well. And I love what you said as well. We have that battle between what our heart's telling us and what our mind's telling us. But here's the thing, give it a go anyway. What's the worst thing that's going to happen?
Mm,
You know?
good call.
Yeah. So it's like, why not? Fucking do it anyway.
Yeah,
You know? At the end of the day, you're
yeah.
back in the same place. Oh, well, fuck, shouldn't have done that. What's the lesson learned here? Good. Don't do it again. Okay. Now, now let's take the other direction. I absolutely guarantee you. And this is you know, let me ask you a question. What's generally the best night? The ones that are unplanned or the ones you plan for weeks?
Oh, dude. It's always the ones that aren't planned, dude. It's
So
always because those are
exactly.
the best stories and those are the best ones.
So,
But
yeah.
people always want to attribute that to good
Yeah. And you know
instead
what?
of bad.
In our own mind, it's like, have to have, because this is the male thing. This is the male controlling. Have to have this, and this, and everything has to be aligned. Yep. Fucking dude, really? That's not life. That's not how it fucking goes. Something's gonna happen. So all I say, guys, I'm gonna end that you've heard a really cool story between with John, why he does what he does. You also heard me ask him a couple of questions on what needs to happen next. Now, I think he's got a pretty clear idea now with what's happened based on the people he's now starting to levitate towards. And he also now knows that he's got to start tuning into himself and trusting his own ability a little bit more. And that's all of us. That's all of us. The fuck, that's me. That's me every day. Um, I'm a little lucky that I have taken on a virtual assistant. And, if I don't do my part, the virtual assistant has no job, has nothing to do. So I'm like, fuck.
Mm.
So that's holding me ultimately accountable. Am I in control here? No. As a man, how much do we love control, John? As a man.
We're in love. Way too much in love with it. That's the problem.
So once you relinquish a little bit of the control, once you all embrace the unknown, once you embrace that, what's the worst thing that can happen if this thing doesn't work? Once you start to embrace that new unknown, that what's the worst thing that can happen? Guess how many paths start opening up in front of you? All I say, guys, actions speak a lot. Actions speak a lot louder than words. Just go fucking all in. Do not be afraid to ask the questions. Do not be afraid to reach out to people that you align with and you have a connection with, and there's something there. It may only be a short term. It may be a long term. Who knows? But all you need is just that little something to help you pivot, just a little bit. That's all it takes. Just pivot a little bit, and the direction of your life can be either fuck, I won't do that again, or it can be, oh my God, this is amazing. So all I say, guys, just jump and trust.
I love it, bro. That's great advice, man. Thank you for closing us out on that one. Everybody, if you got any value from today's episode, because I know I sure as hell did, drop it in the comments below. Good vibes only, please. But let us know. Let us know how this affects you, because I know for me, we are both very crystal clear
Yeah.
on our whys. And at the end of the day, it's like you say, it's just something that it's a daily battle that you have to go through, but it's a beautiful result either side you go on. So thank you so much, my brother. Appreciate you. And thank you guys for tuning in. We'll talk to you next week.
Thank you, guys. Love you.